Liveline, my name's Mason. Let's welcome Khalid to the show. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, especially now that you're on the phone. I mean, seriously, I've been such a huge fan for so long. This album is really good. I bet you've been a busy guy.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate it. All good conversations.
And there's 17 tracks on After the Sun Goes Down. I listened to the whole thing all the way through, which I feel is so hard to do these days because there's usually 2 or 3 good songs and they're all at the beginning. But yours is really well crafted. There's all these different vibes. What was your overall goal or message with this project?
I mean, when I thought about myself and I thought about my career, I thought about, okay, well, what haven't I done yet? I feel like my collaborations are pretty vast. There's so many different options, songs with Billie Eilish and then songs with Martin Garrix. So much to play with. But I feel like when I thought about my own projects, I feel like my projects were pretty somber in tone and very quiet-hearted. I just want to have fun, and I want to express myself, and I want to dance, and I want to race at 100 miles per hour. And so I feel like the music kind of just represents where I am right now in my life. And I feel like my thing about albums is I love cohesive projects. I love projects that invite you into a space and then keep you there for a little bit. Even giving an ode to the eras that have inspired me, being Generation Z, like the late 2000s and early 2010s.
Your music from 2018-19 really got people through a lot of stuff. I mean, everybody in my high school was listening to it. I graduated that year. But hits like Lovely and Love Lies, Location, Young, Dumb and Broke, Better, Talk. What do you say to the fans who have been with you this whole time? And how has your life changed since then?
I feel like there's something about the nostalgia of that era of American Teen and Free Spirit. I would just tell to the people who have been listening to me since then and are still listening now or might even be, refreshed of my music, I'm just happy to be a voice. I mean, just my passion and what I feel called to do is just so much bigger than who I am. When I come into a room, it's not like I'm thinking Khalid the superstar. I think it's just even more so now I feel like I just really get to be myself for the first time in a lot of these rooms. I think I just get anxiety not being that way.
And that kind of ties into the next question because you were brought out as gay last year, and we say it that way because it wasn't really your choice. It was something you had to face head on, and that must have been really difficult to do, especially not on your own terms. So why do you think people care so much, and why was that the right moment to finally address it?
I asked myself that question as well. Why do people care so much? Why was it so hard for me to be as open as I am right now in the earlier part of my career? But I also think about just because they're words doesn't mean that they don't hurt. And one thing about me is I just will never let anybody weaponize my sense of individuality against me. I think by keeping it private, it was keeping it sacred. I was protecting myself and protecting the energy. But for me, I'm like, well, if the cat's out the bag, what am I going to do? Just turn my head and hide under a rock? No, I'm just going to live, and I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to feel free. And I just think that that's just who I am in general. I think like when it came down to even starting my career in the first place, I wrote my first song, and there were people in my school who hated it, and they hated on me. But for me, that only inspired me to want to put myself out there even more, work harder, make better art. And I think that that's what this experience did for me.
And it's always the people with the most problems who are projecting and trying to drag others down, too.
Because they want people to be where they are.
Yeah.
Music is just in a different space, like the essence of music and the spirit behind it is the most important part. Is it authentic? That's where we're going to now. It was exactly everything that I was living in my life. And I feel like that's why it was successful. And the intention of being like, I'm going to make a hit, to me, only overshadows the true just intention of what it is to be an artist. It's like you're being an artist, you're documenting your life in real time. Because when I go back and listen to my music, I'm reminded of all of my memories and stories and maybe entanglements.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what's beautiful about even just being a songwriter as well.
I always love to ask artists this question. The Goo Goo Dolls had many, many hits, but Iris, of course, even this year, one of the biggest, most streamed songs. In 20 years, looking back, if you were known for like one song and you had to perform it over and over and over again, what would you want that song to be?
Better.
Better?
I think Better was just, if I could channel that space that I was in and sit in it a little bit longer, I would. Sun City is one of my favorite projects that I've made in my career. And I feel like it's because of the challenges that I was going through creatively, artistically, that drove me to wanting to make that record. And I think that it's just, in a way, it's kind of like center in time of just a lot of like the albums, and I feel like, yeah, it just really has a spirit that I feel like you just play it and it just takes over you.
Well, I'll be watching you in concert next time you're in Boston in 2054, and I'll see if you do that.
Of course. You know I will.
Last question. What's next for Khalid? What keeps you busy that's non-music related?
What's next for me is I want to see the world, and, I want to travel, and I want to live life, not necessarily, just for a little, not necessarily thinking about what I did, but enjoying the fruits of my labor. I think just listening to the music and preparing for next year when I take the music, to the road.
Well, they always say people don't remember what you did, they remember how you made them feel. And I think you've made a big impact on people who you will never know even exist. I mean, 5 minutes ago, you had no idea who I was. And the things you say in your songs and the way you make me feel, I just want to personally thank you on behalf of all those people for doing such a great job and being someone who we can admire.
Thank you so much for your kind words. That was extremely kind and very nice. And, I don't take that for granted. I really appreciate you.
Khalid, thank you for being with us on Liveline. Hope someday you drop by the studio and hang out for a while.
That would be really awesome. We'll make that happen.
We love you so much, buddy. Keep making great music. Stay positive. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Love you too.